there was no noise. And so what God is telling us, that this is a season of silence. Okay, this is how. That in the temple, there was no noise. Tell you how God is accurate. No noise, no commotion, because when God builds in silence. One more time, somebody say, shh. God is building. Noise is not of God. You may think I planned this. God did. Yeah, say everybody quiet in here. Well, noise is not of God. Noise is associated with destruction. Silence is associated with construction. When God builds, he builds in silence. Anything that God builds, there is a, watch this, a quietness, a stillness, and a silence. As the Lord told me, you did too much talking in 2024. It's been all about you in 2024 and how much people heard you. But if you're going to build with God, it's time that you keep your mouth shut. So somebody say, shh. God is building. Ooh, accurate. That's why I love things like, oh, Lord is good. Bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you. Thank you for your word today. Thank you for what you're giving us today. Thank you for all that you've blessed us with today. Now let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart, let it be acceptable in your sight. O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Somebody say amen. One more time, somebody say, shh. The Lord is building. You may be seated all over. Come on, get it out your system. You're not over it just yet? Get it out your system. The Lord is building. I ended Tuesday's service with saying that we have gone through a year of proving ourselves. That we have tried this 2024 of proving. And we have put ourselves on the line, and God says, 2025, if you remain silent, I will give you proof that you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to talk back. You don't have to argue. Shh. God is building. Y'all with me, somebody? It was in 1970. His name is Gil Scott Heron. Gil Scott Heron. He was a prominent black musician and poet. And during that time, he wrote a poem called The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. The revolution will not be televised. And it was a phrase that rose out of, there was civil unrest amongst the black communities because they were constantly harassed by law enforcement. And so as the television, as TV, well, we have social media now, as television became the prominent source of information and news, it was Gil Scott's way of critiquing the TV or media for thinking that they can capture the actual revolution that was happening in the streets. Although there was a revolution going on, he was trying to say TV cameras will not capture it. That's what he was saying. Because real revolution, you cannot see it through TV screens. Real revolution, You cannot see change happening through your social media or through your phones or while you are sitting comfortably on your couch. Real revolution you can't see. You just got to be a part of. Because on TV, what news media and what these news organizations do, they sanitize what's going on in the streets, and they let you see what they perceive revolution is. So what he was saying was, no, if you're looking for TV to tell you that revolution is happening, the revolution will not be televised. The true essence of revolution you can't capture on a camera. True change you can't sit on your couch and watch. True change happens when you are part of it in the middle of the streets. Are you with me, somebody? True change, watch this, would not come with bright cameras, bright lights. True change would not come with no loud announcement. True change would not come with somebody screaming. True change would not come with some kind of televised announcement that change is here. True change cannot be captured by lights. True change happens in silence. There will be no noise. It's really quiet in here. Change will not be loud. Change will not come with an announcement. Somebody say, it's silent. Silent. And when we step into our text, it's hard because we are living in a time where the world wants to celebrate noise and visibility. The louder you are, the more attention you get. Lord have mercy. It's real. That we have to, all our achievements are broadcast. All our success has to be recognized. If it's not posted, it didn't happen. If we don't tell anybody about it, it didn't happen. That in our world, we love loudness and noise. But the kingdom of heaven don't operate in noise. Ooh, this man. I'm gonna help you by the end of the day to let you know, to let you recognize whether you are operating with God or operating with the kingdom of this world. Because I want to show you, noise ain't God. Lord have mercy. And again, I ain't pointing no finger. I planned this out from 2 weeks ago. This long time, but God's timing is always just right. Here's why I trust God. Here's why I trust the Lord. Because I could have preached it at any other time. That's what I'm saying. I wrap myself in the providence of God, that God knows. You would think I planned it like this. You would think that I detoured from my message and that all of a sudden what happened today and what God is saying right now. This is a statement for the entire year. Noise ain't not of God. Tell your neighbor, God wants to remind you when we step into the text today that there's a powerful picture of how God, he is antithetical, which means he is against, he is opposed. He is antithetical to how humanity operates. Meaning humanity loves noise, God is the opposite of that. He is antithetical. They go left, God goes right. The world loves noise, God loves silence. Humanity builds with commotion, God builds with calm. God's house was built in silence. The text reminds us that when God does his greatest work is done in quiet, in silence, and in still ways. If it's too loud, it ain't the Lord. Boy, y'all quiet today. Real quiet. Oh, if it's too loud, it ain't the Lord. Oh boy, I ain't deviating. If it's too loud, it ain't the Lord. I wish you would tap your neighbor and say, shh. God is building. 400, the Bible says, I'm having a good time. This is when I have a really good time. I'm sitting and relaxing. I love it. I love it here. My early days, Brother Amari, I wouldn't have. It'd have been uncomfortable, but I'm relaxing here. The first verse says 480 years have passed since the Exodus from Egypt, and that the Lord's purpose is finally being attained. The people are finally coming into what God delivered them out of Egypt to do. That prophetic song that we said last week that Miriam sung when she crossed the Red Sea. You remember I said it in Exodus 15. When they crossed the Red Sea, she took out her keyboard and her tambourine and she wrote a song to chronicle how they passed over the Red Sea. Y'all remember that? Well, in that same song, verse number 17, she prophetically starts speaking or singing what God was about to do. Here's what it says. He says, he will bring you out. You will bring them out, them being Israel. Bring them in and plant them in your own mountain. The place, O Lord, reserved for your own dwelling. The sanctuary, O Lord, that your hands have established. He sang this 480 years earlier. Now, 480 years later, what God says, I brought you out of Israel, out of bondage, and I'm going to plant you in your own place reserved just for you. I'm going to establish, watch this, I will establish a home, a sanctuary for myself, that when I'm in your presence, you can have my presence. I'm going to build. I'm pulling you out of Egypt. I'm pulling you out of bondage, and I'm going to place you in a place where I could build a home, not only for you, but a home for myself. Are you with me, somebody? Here's what it is, because although they had a tabernacle by Moses and used by David, it wasn't a permanent place. It was a portable, it was a temporary place where the presence of God was moved from place to place. Are you with me? And anytime Israel got into some kind of problems in the wilderness, they had to pick up the presence of God and go. Are y'all with me, somebody? So once they found a little bit of rest in the wilderness, if somebody came in that was bigger and stronger than them while they were wandering, they had to pick up all their possessions and move to somewhere else. So they wandered with the presence of God. It was temporary. But God says, watch this, now that temporary portable season of your life is over, I'm going to establish a place that is permanent. Y'all not with me? Y'all not with me? That you're not going to wander anymore. I'm going to move you from temporary to permanent. Now, still not with me. Here it is, because some of you are used to being portable from place to place to place to place. And you got to bring the Spirit of the Lord with you from place to place to place to place. But there is power in permanence. That now I don't have to move anywhere. This place is mine. Now, I'm talking to myself in here. That now they don't have to wander. Anytime they had to go get under attack, they had to pack up themselves and leave, Sister Hillary. But now the Lord is saying, I'm building a place where no matter what happens, come or go, you're going to stay right here. See, that's the problem. Some of you don't understand the power in being permanent. When God establishes you and settles you, meaning you don't have to move where the wind blows. Or if somebody steps in, you don't have to pack up or go. This is my place. This is my house. And I ain't going anywhere. Still not with me. There is a season of your life where he brought Israel in, and he's bringing us in the same way that no longer do you have to wander. That I am changing the season of your life from portable to permanent. That's good to me. The Lord is giving me, watch this. The Lord is giving me a place where I can remain. Y'all not with me. The Lord is giving me, so some of y'all thinking about a physical place, and it can be, but I'm talking about a spiritual place where things don't push you out of the way. Normally, when you see some spiritual stuff, you will start picking up and running. But when the Lord plants roots, I'm going to stay right here. Yeah. The Lord said, I'm giving you a place where you can remain. And God said, Israel, it's time to build a place where there is you're prominently permanent. I'm moving into an immovable season. No. That's I'm moving into being immovable. Still, that's only two. I'm moving into a season where what shook me up last year. That's one. That's two. What robbed me, Sister Dana, of my peace last year won't do it this year. Still, that's one. I still only got, no, that's not good for you. That what shook you up and got on your nerves last year, I'm moving into a season where I'm immovable. I'm going to stay right here. Come what may, because I used to have to pick up and move. Now God has put me in the spirit of permanence. This is my home. That I'm not moving. Tell somebody, say, I'm not moving. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. And you. See, they didn't get that. And you're going to love me. There is power in permanence. There is power knowing that the Lord has given you the power to actually lay down some roots. Tell your neighbor, I'm moving into a season of stability. Yeah, find a neighbor on the other side. I'm moving in a season of stability. No, I know. That's important. It's important for you. And this is what God is giving Israel 480 years later. He said, now it's time to build. Now, I want you to understand that these plans started with David. It was David that looked at where he was living and then see where God, the Ark of the Covenant, he said, how can I have this big old mansion? And look where God is staying, and look where I'm staying. There has to be something in you where you look at how you live and then how you treat God. So the plan, Sister Hillary, came to David. But God decided, although he gave the plans to David, he prepared Solomon's hands to build it. Yeah. Although David had the plans, Solomon had the hands to build. Now, there is 2 months worth of sermons and Bible study in that you need to understand that one, God always have a succession plan. Here's what I'm trying to say. God always has a next. The plan of God don't stop with you. And if you think you are all that and a bag of chips, God will remind you, no offense to you, you're good, Sister Hillary, but I got another one. And I could raise up another. Y'all with me? I can raise up somebody else. Lord, it's quiet. That God always, somebody say God always have another. So God always have a succession plan. Watch this. Then there is inherited purpose. There's generational purpose. Meaning that it is handed down to you from your predecessors. That your grandma had a plan that she may not be able to accomplish, and it's passed down through the bloodline. And that's why no matter what anybody tells you, you are born with purpose. There is purpose you are born with. Now this is what I have to get. And number 3, what they may have started, but God has graced you to finish it. Okay, I'm quiet. It's quiet. Your predecessors, God gave them the plan, but he didn't grace them with the life to finish it. And that's why they had you. Because God has graced you to finish what they started. Now the question is, have you finished what they started? Every last person in here has something they need to finish, and they have something that they need to start. Man, this is, I don't know how, and this is why, I don't know how you could come in here and not be energized every day, because God has given you something that you need to either start. Now the question is, what have you started? Lord, it's quiet. What have you started? And what have you finished? Because you have to start something, because it gives your children, it gives them that push that I got to see this finish. Somebody said you got to finish it. What? And 4, you got to know your purpose. Somebody said you got to know your purpose. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later. This is when you don't know your purpose, you're in a world of trouble. This is why a lot of arguments start, because it's purposeless people. I'm going to show you. Somebody say he's going to show you in a minute. Show you in a minute. Watch this. 480 years from the Exodus, God now is ready to build a place where he can reside permanently. And what verse 2 of chapter number 6 is showing you, that the temple is 2 times the size of the tabernacle. That everything about what God is building next is bigger than what he built before. Ooh, Lord. It is a monumental project. I want you to understand that the temple was one of the 7 wonders of the world. People came from all around to see Solomon's temple. Are y'all with me? Tell somebody this was big. Look at the and say it was really big. On the other side, say it was big, big. This was a big construction project. Are you with me? And so what makes this even more amazing was that such a big project was happening without noise. This is a big construction site, bigger than the tabernacle, twice the size, and the Bible says that there was no sound of a hammer, no sound of a chisel, no iron tools was heard, Logan. How can God, how can you have such a big project and no noise be heard? You know how much people was there? You know how much people had to be working on that site? And it's speaking to us how God, when he has a big work, he can accomplish it in silent ways. I want you to understand, because some of you have gotten really disheartened that you don't hear or see anything. Lord, you've been looking to your left and your right, and your neighbor have all the noise, and you looking in your pocket like, where's my noise? What? Am I in a, this ain't a TED talk. This ain't a TED talk. Some of you have been looking at your neighbor's life and wondering, where's my noise? That I need to do something because there's so much. If God was doing something big, at least something. God, shake the curtains. Rattle my fridge. Turn the light on. But this project is teaching you that God can have big plans, but accomplish it in silent ways. Lord have mercy. Yeah. God is reminding you the same way from this temple, how he built it corporately, God does the same way individually. When God is going to do something big in your life, he often remains extremely silent. I'm preaching to myself in here. That when God is up to something big, it is normal, customary, part of his modus operandi, that he's always moving silently. It is a pattern to show you that I'm not a God that's chatty. I'm not a God that chats and let everybody knows what I'm up to. I'm a God that moves in silence. Y'all not with me. Y'all, here it is. God is letting you know, I'm building this temple without noise, without commotion, without fanfare. Ain't no audiences around. Ain't nobody cheering and praising. I'm building without any attention. Can you build without attention? Lord have, man, it's quiet. It's all right. Y'all force me to work. Force. God has always constructed leaders this way. He constructed them in wildernesses, and he constructs them in deserts. He constructs them in places that off the radar. You are looking at where you are and saying you are lost. You are looking where you are and saying you are off the grid. And God is saying you are right where I need you. Y'all need proof? Before Moses had the divine authority to stand before Pharaoh and say that you got to let my people go, 40 years he spent on the backside of the desert. He was there chasing sheep around the arid, dry conditions of the desert. And I'm sure there was many sweaty nights, many sweaty mornings when he thought, this is all my life is going to be. I'm sure there was moments when he says, well, I've been here 40 years. I'm about 80-something years old. This is where I'm going to die. Dying, chasing sheep through a desert. And little did he know that every single day of his life, God was preparing a burning bush to grab his attention, that he would be the next person, although a shepherd, but he's going to lead people out of bondage. No, I don't understand it. Why? How 40 years? Some of you have many mornings that you woke up and many nights that you went to sleep and said, is this all that there is? Is this how I'm going to lay my head? Is this how I'm going to die? And I'm here to remind you, God has ways of doing big things in secret ways. That's God. Tell somebody, say, that's God. You don't believe me? Find David. David, who most of the nights, most of the days, he spent alone with God. He spent time outside of the fanfare of people chasing sheep the same way. Watch this. He was not in a wilderness, but he was in a wilderness of his own family. That even his family didn't notice him. It's one thing for strangers to recognize you, but it's another thing for family to think you are no good. David is the only one that didn't get an invitation to his own party. All the invitations went out, and his name was not on it, and it was his party. Little did he know that this little teenage shepherd that was anointed in a small little house soon later would be the first anointed king shepherd of all of Israel. Because God, although he had big plans, he accomplished it in secret ways. That little do you know, right as you speak, God is working things out for you. Are you with me, somebody? And there are points in our life, right, just like them, where right now you are unknown. You are unrecognizable to people around you. They look at you for what you are and not for who you will be. They have no clue that God is working things out. I'm preaching to myself in here. They have no clue what God is doing behind the scenes, and to you, you're just a regular somebody, but not to God. Yeah. God has always used silence, obscurity, to shape people big for his destiny. That God has always used unknown people. In your life, there are people in your life that has pushed you to where you are, and they don't have any name. Lord have mercy. There are people's prayers that you have never heard, that you've never seen their face, but they have pushed you to this point. Because God always does big work in silent ways. Big work, silent ways. That God has these wondrous ways that we can't always figure out, but he is up to something. I wish you would elbow your neighbor and say, God is up to something. Elbow your neighbor on the other side and say, God is up to something. Come on, elbow your neighbor on the other side. I know it's warm in here, and y'all don't let the heat get to you. Lord have mercy. I'm here sweating, you here relaxing. Don't let the heat, God is up to something. Here it is. Elijah was about to commit suicide. In his heart, Sister Georgette, he thought, I'm all by myself. It's only me left. Nobody else is serving God like me. Everybody around don't love the Lord like me. And because of that, I want to kill myself. That he committed himself and he said, I'm just going to lay down here in the heat and just die. And then God woke him up, found him, pulled him to a place where in a still, small, don't miss it, in a still, small voice, not loud, reminded him that you ain't the only one. I got 7,000 other people. Can I tell you something, brothers and sisters? You think what you are going through, you are all by yourself. What you don't realize, God got 7,000 more people willing to help you fight your battle. You are not by yourself. Because God might have big work, but he accomplished it in silent ways. One more time. God has big work, but he accomplished it in. One more time. God has, but he accomplishes in silent ways. Anything God does big, he does it quietly. With me, the temple is being built. And here's what we have, brothers and sisters, we're moving, that when the temple was built, all of the stones was fashioned at the quarry. Solomon directed that all the stones that was going to be used for the temple be fashioned and shaped at the quarry. Now, the Bible doesn't explicitly say that where or how far the quarry was away from the construction site, but what we know is there was some distance away. Understand what I'm trying to say? The construction site was here, and the quarry was probably 3 blocks away. Get that in your mind. I got that in your mind? So the construction site is 219, and the quarry is probably at Remsen. Let's make it farther. Y'all with me, somebody? And so it was shaped there. Now, anybody know what a quarry is? If you don't know, raise your hand. You don't know. If you don't know where it is. So that means everybody in here know. See, now, if I'm about to, see, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. This is like a teacher. If you don't know, raise your hand. Because if you do, if your hand not raised, I'm going to ask you. Your hand not raised, Governor Barnett. You know what a quarry is? You know what a quarry is? So, all right, let me do it one more time. See, listen. If you don't know what a quarry is, raise your hand. Lord have mercy. You don't know what it is, that boy. Well, I've been a great teacher. Listen, I tried. You don't know, it's here. You don't know what it is. You don't know what a quarry is. If you don't know what a quarry is, raise your hand. Because I'm going to think that if you do know where it is, I'm going to call you. Mother James, you know what it is? You know, I'm going to give you a break because you got white on. I'm going to give you a break because you got white. A quarry is a open, almost like a open area, almost like a ditch. It's dirty. It's muddy. Depending on the kind of stone, it could be all white. And all the machinery. Y'all seen it sometimes at a mountainside. All the heavy machinery and trucks. And it's kind of muddy and dirty. See, everybody saying, yes, that's it. I just asked you if you did. I just asked you. So it's an open area, almost look like a ditch. It's dirty and muddy because all the stones are being worked there. Lord have mercy. All of the stones, all the heavy machinery. So the quarry is noisy. It's busy. It's messy. It's dirty. It's a quarry. So maybe a quarry. If I say quarry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is classes of communication where I have to properly enunciate. Quarry, that's better? So you want the Jamaican? All right. So it's a quarry. Construction site, silent. Quarry, dirty. Noisy. Messy. Busy. But it's far away. And what happens when the stones are being finished shaped at the quarry, they transport it. Okay, stay with me. There is a word in there for you. And so once the stones have been, watch this, once it has been prepared, once the stones have been processed, then it's ready to be placed. Okay, one more. At the quarry, the stones, the big stones, when they dig it out, they have to prepare it, process it, then it's ready to be placed. But all of the preparing and the processing is noisy, messy. Lord have mercy. Y'all with me right now? And some of you already, I don't have to beat this analogy in the head. You got it. You are that stone. Somebody say, I'm the stone. You are that stone, and the world is a quarry. Y'all with me? The world, this messy, busy, noisy, dirty place is the quarry. You know what? And the tools of this world is life. Because every single day, life is chipping away at you, Lord, chopping away at you, cutting away at you. The world is the quarry, and life is the tool. Are you with me, somebody? Life is constantly. And I don't need to tell you, you lived through 2024, how life is constantly chopping you down. Just when you got your feet and just when you was able to stand, all of a sudden, life just takes your foot right out from underneath you. Yeah. Why are you with me? Life has a way. And here's the truth. Many of you did not walk in here. You crawled in. Lord, it's quiet in here. You know what? Yeah, they didn't go through too much pain. It's not enough pain. There was not enough pain in 2024 because when you crossed over after all you've been through, life 2024 cut you. And I'm trying to say, some of you are saying no. Some of you are saying, no, Pastor, before then. These cuts are going on 10 years. Rejection cut you. Lies clipped you. Gossip chopped you. Sickness sliced you. Money left you. People punctured you. You have been going through. Kids say, life be lifing. It's constantly cutting, clipping, chiseling away. And it is, everybody know, it's painful. Amen. How many know it's painful? Come on. How many know it's painful? I'm going to get you to raise your hand today, Governor Barnett. How many know it's painful? I'm going to get you today. I'm going to get you today. This is how it works. This is how it gets seized when you're active. It's painful, but guess what? The pain ain't the most important part. Oh, Lord have mercy. I knew. I got him. See, Amari, this is what you call setup. Set it up. The pain ain't the most important part. That's not it. The most important part is who is in control. The most important part is the builder. Who you've placed your life, which is the tool, in the hands of. Because if your friends control your life tool, that they will use your life for their benefits. And then how they cut you won't have any purpose. Who you've given your life to build with. If money is your life tool, then once money is gone, life will cut you. Are you with me? It's important who has your life. Let me ask you again. Who has your life? Okay. Who is building your life? Oh, it's quiet. Who is building your life? The reason why that's important, because if God is in control, all the cuts has a purpose. No, that's still not with me. If God is in control, every cut you experience, every chop you've gone through, every painful thing you experience, everything you've gone through, if God is in control, there is purpose behind it. It all happened for a reason. Y'all with me, brothers and sisters? When God is in control, He perfectly knows what you need to be shaped. That every stroke of His brush, of every hit from His chisel, you know it was divinely directed. Can I tell you? Everything I've gone through last year has shaped me for this year. No, I'm no, that's not. I only got two. Everything. You know why? When I know it's divinely or divinely directed, I can accept it. When I know God is in control, I can accept what I've gone through because I know my life is in God's. I can't get no help in here. Everything I've gone through, every slice was designed by God to get the best out of me. It's a noisy place. And I can now peacefully accept it. The quarry is a noisy place, dusty place, messy place, busy place, of preparation. And what makes preparation so difficult is because it's far from the construction site. I need y'all to stay with me. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. The construction site, Sister Georgette, is far away from the preparation site. And so while you're in the quarry, where you are don't make any sense because you can't see construction. The construction site is far away. And I don't know, it'd be different if I can see the construction across the street. I will stay in the mess because there is hope, because I know where I'm going. But because the quarry, the preparation site, is so far away from the construction site, I feel isolated. I feel disconnected. I feel like all this pain is serving no purpose. And when I can't see what God is building, I lash out what I'm going through. Lord have mercy. When I don't know what God is building, I know I'm breaking, but I want to break somebody. Because pain always makes you feel isolated. It robs you of the hope of tomorrow. It makes you stay stuck in the pain of today, and you can't see what God is up to. Are you with me? And that's why some of you, the pain in 2022, you had no idea God was using it for the peace to walk into in 2025. You had no idea. The rejection that you went through in 2019 was preparing you for 2026. No clue, because it's so far away. And that's what pain would do. God will let you understand, if you focus on your demise more than your destiny, you will allow little things in your life to make you go crazy. You know why I wake up every day in the midst of all chaos? Destiny. Sister Sabrina, it's hope. Okay, all right. I asked y'all on Tuesday night, how many believe that God is still healing people from cancer? How many believe that God can pull people back together? How many know that God can heal families? So there is a level of faith that you have in the midst of all the fight and the frustration. What wakes me up and keep me going is the faith for tomorrow that God has to. Watch this. That all things are working together. Purpose hired your pain. Purpose hired it. Not the other way around. Because all things are at work. Pain is an employee. Oh, they still. It works for purpose. Y'all still done. And anytime God wants to fire pain, because your purpose don't need it, your purpose don't need any more pain, God will remove the pain. Pain is on the clock. Man, I wish I had, boy, if I was somewhere else and I just told you your pain is on the clock. working, God hired it, because some of you don't move unless you're in pain. Some of you don't move. Success, let me tell you right here, I'm sorry to say it, success is probably the worst thing for some of you in here. It's the worst thing. You will never see God again. Pain. Evangelist, it's pain. It's pain. It's trying to shape you. And guess what? It won't stop until it shapes you. Here's the thing. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. You ain't ready for the quarry. You ain't ready to be placed. You ain't ready to be placed until you fully shake. No. Because some of you want to be placed without being processed. And you got to feel the pain. Lord have mercy. Watch it. I'm almost done. I know I've been talking a long time. It's long. It's a noisy, dusted place. Preparation happens away. But after the stone is prepared, then it is brought to position in the construction site. And it cannot be positioned until it's prepared. It is prepared in the noise, and then it's been placed in silence. It's prepared in noise. Then after noise prepared it, now it's ready to be placed. Y'all not with me? I'm shaped in the noise. I've been through too much. I've been through a lot. And when God knows I've been through a lot and he understands it shaped me, he placed me in silence. Watch this. And that's why what people say and do don't bother me, because I've already been prepared through noise. Once you are placed, you don't need to talk back. Placed people are silent. I'm preaching better than y'all are responding. You know, when you are placed, you are silent. Placed people don't talk back because they're in the temple in silence. Noisy people. If you got to talk back every single time, that means you're still being prepared. What's in you haven't been processed out yet. Well, I'm preaching in here better than y'all. Well, if you're so impulsive, where you cannot resist urges, I'm not going to say that they're not there. There is an urge to say something. I'm not like I'm a robot, Sister Georgette, that there's an urge to say something back. But I learned how to speak to that urge. I learned. Now, the temptation is there. But I won't subject myself to it. I can walk away from the black cake. You want to say something, but because you've been through the noise already. You've been through the pain already. You've been through the talk already. Now I'm placed. Placed people are silent. Hillary, this is how I know. This is how I know whether you are in the quarry or in the temple. Your noise. Noisy people, you are still being prepared. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. That's God. That's you telling God, there's some things in my life you still got to work out. But God is saying, you're not ready for that position yet, because there's no noise over here. Y'all not with me. Every stone, watch this, every stone. Some of you got diamond rings on it. Some of you got diamond rings on. And if you don't, may the Lord bless you one day. Every stone, every diamond that you have, it's been cut down to size. it loses 60% of what it is because it can't fit in the clasp. So the jeweler has to break it down so it can fit. Every one of us, some of us, we are still too big for the position. We're too noisy. And God has to cut 60% of us so we can fit over there. So I'm going to let you, Sister Hillary, I'm going to let you be noisy right here. But you ain't ready to be transported. Lord have mercy. Because the temple is silent. And what should have happened, this 2024 should have been your query. Where you've been through all the noise. You've been through it. Watch it. I'm done. I've been preaching here too long. Every last one of us right now are being shaped because God has a specific spot for you. Dean, you got a specific spot. Sister Dean, you got a specific spot because God, how you are prepared, or how you are processed, the divine designer knows what you need. All of our processes are not the same. We got a whole bunch of stones in here. And so I can't talk about how God prepares you. Because he is preparing you for the spot over there. Okay, one more time. What you are going through right here, God has there in mind. Y'all with me? Where you are right now, God has where you are next. And each of us in here are shaped uniquely so that God can fit us in a specific place. Y'all with me? Therefore, I can't get jealous of where God placed you because that's my spot. We are all stones being fit together for one place. Now watch this. If you don't know your purpose, you will want to be me. And just like there's multiple chairs in here where everybody can sit in place, some of you want to sit on top of somebody because you think that that's your seat. Ooh, I'm preaching better than y'all. And that's why when you don't know your purpose, you envy everybody else. You don't know your place, which end up you being in fights with other stones. This is what it was prepared before. When you know your purpose, you can stand alone. Because what I got is not at war with you. And what you got is not at war with me. We perfectly fit together. Lord. Listen, this had nothing to do. This is the word. I had that. But man, he took it already. It was in my notes. I could show you. No, I'm good. Every stone in here, you are being shaped specifically for where God has you next. And this is why when you are purposeful, you envy less. I don't want what you want. I can want what you want, but I don't want what you have. Because what you have is not for me. It won't fit. Because it's not for right here. And if I don't have a place over here, then I'm not ready. That means I got to go back to the quarry and get processed some more. I wish y'all with me. Watch this. I'm done. No tools were at the quarry. It was silent. Because one thing God won't have
is human craftsmanship at the temple. Because I don't want any human to take credit for what I'm building. Because if there's hammers there, you know somebody's going to say, I built that. Solomon, in his wisdom, knew that if there was hammers going off, people will think about mankind more than God. Lord, I wish I don't have the time to stay here. He knew that if people walked by the temple and heard people, they would think about people more than God. But he wanted you to understand God is building something that makes no noise. But every time you pass it, it's getting bigger. Every time. You ain't saying anything, Sister Monique, but every time I pass you month after month, I say, oh, that looks a little bit bigger. Oh, wait a second. That looks a little bigger. Every time they passed the temple, they heard no sound, but they saw that it was just growing. Because growth don't make noise. I pray that you grow up this year. More importantly, that you grow in silence. Your talking days. I heard two people say that. Your talking days. Now, understand what I'm saying. I'm not telling you when I pass by you today, you're like, my talking days is over. I'm not talking to you. No. I'm talking about the small issues that has pulled you and deterred you. I've been processed through that. God processed that out of me. I'm ready to be positioned. Take me out of this noise. I'm ready for the silence. Stand anywhere. I'm done. I know that was a longer than expected sermon. But it was right on time. A stillness. Silence. Quiet. Stop. It's not proving how strong you are. Those days are over. To prove many things that I want to just email back, text back. The urge, and even that, God, we have to work on that. Even the thought. Because watch this. Because the words is what you hear, but the power is in the thought. All of the power is in what's silent. You understand what I'm saying? The power of what you say is in the thought, not the words. Because power is always silent. Strength is not in noise. I want to reprogram your thought. Strength is not in words. Strength is seen in silence. Ask me how I know. Because I know a man. The night of his trial. I know a man that was tried in a court full of lies and opened not his mouth. Because he knew power is not in what you say. Power is in what you don't say.
Can I tell you, let your silence speak this year.
I pray you let your silence or your absence speak. Can I give you information? Can I give you a word of advice? Be like God. Go only where you're invited. If you are not invited, don't go. Don't be anywhere where you're not wanted to, unless God tell you to. Be just like Jesus. I'm going to come to your house because I have an invitation. If I don't have an invitation, I'm not showing up. Let your silence speak. God builds. Shh. Tell your neighbor, shh.